So, we have a very small chapter here, right? We did one lesson of it, right? And you guys did really, really well. We started talking about ratios, and ratios were just counting things. So you're making sure you're counting things in the right order and comparing things. All right. Today, we're going to go into more application kind of questions. Right? So this is the big part of this chapter, probably what you find the hardest. It's not really all that hard, right? And it gets, I think, a little bit easier the next day. So my original plan was to do most of the questions on the first page, maybe one on the back page, and have you do some of the questions in the assignment. The fire alarm went off, so I have no idea how long it's going to take to go through some notes. So kind of play it by ear. We may still do a little bit of assignment. I just wanted to do some of the notes and have you do some easy questions. We may still do that. We'll see how it goes. Yes, Keith?
Can I go to the washroom?
No, we're doing notes. Wait.
Still go to the washroom?
Do you must?
Yes.
Okay, go. Yeah. Yes,
Can I
ma'am.
go after Keaton? Can
Yes,
I go
Timmy.
after Maddie?
It is 11:13. Okay. So, let's get started. All right. So, we're gonna I have a question for you. All right, and it'll probably usually be two sets of questions, very similar. All right, and here's our scenario. We have Circle K selling 3 bags of Takis for $12.03. All right. Then we have Walmart that is selling the Takis for 4 bags for $15.80. Okay. The question is, which of the two places is giving you the better deal? Right? Who's the cheaper place? Is it Circle K? Is it Walmart? And how do you know?
Instinctively, I'm going to Walmart because I think Circle K is like really overpriced.
Circle K tends to be more expensive. Yeah.
Circle K has smaller bags for like.
Let's just assume these are all the same size bags here. Yes, Timmy.
Everybody disintegrated his arm at Circle K. That's how he
Ted.
destroyed it.
Tell me about that later. Yes, Kai.
The Walmart bags are $3.95 each, and the Circle K bags are $4.01 each.
How did you figure that out?
I divided the total price by the number of bags.
Okay, so what Kai did was just figure out the price for one bag. Okay, then once you have the price for one, then you can compare. Right now it's hard to compare these two numbers because this is 3 bags, this is 4 bags. You can't just compare the dollar amount. So you want to find the price for one bag of chips. So at Circle K, we go, oh, that's messy writing, $12.03 divided by 3 bags. And we should have a bigger decimal there. You divide those two numbers, and we go here, we go on here, we go here, all that stuff here. Oops, $12.03 divided by 3 bags. So Circle K is giving you each one for $4 and a penny, right? So we write it like this. $4.01 slash bag. Remember the slash means the word per. So Circle K is selling $4.01 per bag. And we do the same thing with Walmart. You go, okay, Walmart is $15.80 divided by 4. Okay? So you take those two things and you divide it. You go 15 80 divided by 4 because you're buying 4 things, and you got $3.95. Right? Per bag. Right? So now you can see the price for one item, and you just compare the numbers. Walmart's cheaper, right? Walmart has the better deal. So your little sentence, Walmart has the better deal. All right.
Now I'm on talkies.
All right. All right. So now, what we just did is called a unit rate, right? So rates are used to compare quantities, things, in different units. So we had bags and we had money. We're comparing those two things. A unit rate makes it easier for us to compare because a unit rate is comparing the cost or amount for one, right? So here, the previous question, we had 4 bags and 3 bags. That was hard to compare. As soon as you figure out the price for one, made it easier to compare. So that was called the unit rate. Right? So that's what we're going to do. Is lots of times we're going to find the price for one. Well, not necessarily the price for one. There are typically 2 questions I'm going to give you. One of the questions is just like what we just did. What's cheaper? Right? And the other question is typically is what's faster? Right? When you're trying to compare things, it's like, oh, what's the fastest? Or what's the cheapest? Right? Those are usually the 2 things you're comparing. So now, those are usually the 2 scenarios. When we have our questions, all you're doing is dividing 2 numbers and comparing the answers, right? But what order do you divide the numbers in? Right? Notice we put the money on top, the amount below, right? Is it always this way, or is it why not do it the other way around, right? So, based off these 2 scenarios, you read the question, whatever they're talking about. Money always is your top number, okay? Money is always on the top, and your other things on the bottom. Whatever your bags of chips, number of nuts, whatever they might be comparing, right? So money is always on the top. Money always on top. And when we're talking about faster, we're comparing it relative to time. And for those kind of situations, when you're faster, time is always on the bottom. You're always dividing by time. Right? Okay, time always on the bottom. Right? So you got to know which way to divide the 2 numbers that they give you. All right? All right. Okay, let's put this to work. All right. So this is asking you to find the unit rate. All right? All these questions. It says Brandon runs 150 meters in 25 seconds. Right? What's the unit rate? So you're going to have to divide these 2 numbers. All right? What goes on the bottom? Time. So 25 is always going to go on the bottom. And on the top is 150. So then we just grab our calculator and we give our answer to a decimal, whatever it might be. So remember when we were doing this on our calculator? You enter the top number first, right? You go 150 Go over here, turn it on, clear this. You go 150 divided by 25 is 6. Okay. So now, we need units as well. What does this 6 mean? Over here, when we divided this, we got $3.95 per bag. What is this? Hannah? Not just meters. Per second. So to figure out the units, it's just the way you set up this fraction. On the top, this was 150 meters. So I'm going to put like a little M here for meters. And on the bottom, that was seconds. So I'm going to put an S for seconds down. And our unit is our top divided by bottom. So instead of writing a fraction like this, meters over seconds, we do a slanty line. So that becomes 6 meters per second. The top unit divided by bottom unit, right? So 6 meters per second. That's it, okay? So all of your answers, I'm gonna be looking for units as well. So make sure you have this part. So if you're missing this part, I'll be taking off a half a mark. You just look at the numbers, what's on the top, slash what's on the bottom, right? Now, let's do the next one. In 12 hours, Kira earned $159. We're going to divide these two numbers. What goes on the top? What goes on the bottom? Peyton.
159 goes on the top and 12 hours goes on the bottom.
Money always goes on the top. Time always goes on the bottom. And I'm going to include the units there, right? And then I grab the calculator and I divide these two things together. I go 159 divided by 12 is 1325. Now, for our units, money is the odd one out, right? For the dollar sign belongs with the number, so you don't go dollar sign slash hours. The dollar sign goes with the number, so the dollar sign goes right here. So still on the top, but not on the other side of the slash, okay? So that's one, it's a little trickier, but it's how it works, right? All right. Cat food costs $9 for 5 cans. We're dividing 9 and 5. What number goes on the top? What number goes on the bottom?
The money goes on.
Money goes on the top. $9 goes on the top, and 5 cans goes on the bottom. So we go 9 divided by 5. So you go 9 divided by 5. We get 1.8. Now, since this is money, we're going to add an extra decimal spot on there because we don't say $1, 1.8. We say $1.80. Okay, $1.80 slash what word do we write down? Or just can, or per can, right? All right. Okay, the next one. Mr. Dhaliwal's SUV uses 51.4 liters. That's how big my tank is. I can go 658 kilometers. So how much fuel do I burn per kilometer? Right? So now, this is not money. It is not time. All right? How do we set up that fraction? What number goes on the top? What number goes on the bottom? There is a right answer and there is a wrong answer. Hannah?
Do the meters go on top?
Yes, you are right. How did you guess?
Because you're figuring out how many liters to travel that distance.
Yeah. Like, sometimes they'll give you a clue in the question. They'll say, how much fuel per kilometer? Remember, per means just means the word divide. So So we're dividing by kilometers. So most of the stuff will be pretty straightforward. It'll be money or time, but there'll be occasional one. You'll have to read the question. It'll be like, okay, it's per kilometer. So we're dividing by kilometers. So that means we are putting the 658 kilometers down here. Right? That means the other number is 51.4 liters up top. All right? Now you go like this, and we go, grab my calculator, go like this, 51.4 divided by 658, and some of your calculators may give you some more weird answers, depending on who your calculator is. Okay? So, the answer is 0.078. And we'll just stop it after the 8. 0.078. That's weird, right? And so what will our units look like? Our slash. What goes in front? What goes in the back of the slash?
KM.
KM here, kilometers here, and L here. Now, there'll be situations like this one, where your answer comes up with this weird decimal. Like when you're comparing cars, right? Gas cars, they'll say, how far, what's the fuel efficiency? How far can they go on a tank, on a liter? But they don't do it like this, because it gives you a weird decimal number. What they will say is per 100 kilometers. So they'll get rid of that small number. So this is awkward to deal with. So what you do is when you have these tiny little things, instead of saying per 1 kilometer, because it doesn't take that much gas to go 1 kilometer, you times this by 100, right? Remember, times by 100 means move the decimal 2 spots. Or you can use your calculator if you want, right? 0.078 times 100. You move the decimal 2 spots. You end up with 7.8 liters. Instead of kilometers now, we say 100 kilometers. And that's how cars are rated. They'll say, how far can it go on 100 kilometers? Because it doesn't really take that much gas to go 1 kilometer. And that makes it a little bit a nicer number for us to kind of compare. Oh, it takes 7.8 liters. That's for my highway driving. It's much worse than in the city, right? And that's how you'll see cars rated, right? So if you see an answer that ends up being a decimal, right? Just times it by 100 and go, okay, for 100 kilometers or 100 grams or something like that, right? And what time is it? Okay. So let's do one more question on the back side. We won't do the assignment here, right? So we're going to look at here. We have the bulk section. And we have 3 different packages for nuts, right? You can buy 300 grams for $2.19. You can buy 500 grams for $3.09. Or you can buy, I should do a different color, 700 grams for $4.83. Okay? Which one's the best deal? So if we take these numbers, say the package one, the 300 gram one, what number goes on the top? 219, does that go on the top or on the bottom?
Top.
On top. Money goes on the top. So 219 goes on the top, and I go 300 on the bottom, and I go grab my calculator, and I go 219 divided by 300, shh, and I get another decimal number. And some of you guys, when you're doing these calculations, you'll see weird things showing up your calculator. You'll start seeing E's and minuses and stuff like that. That just tells you it's a really, really small number. If that happens, shh, because here we're finding the cost per 1 gram. it's really cheap to buy 1 gram of nuts. So to make the numbers a little bit easier to work with, we're just gonna take our answer and times it by 100. So you're gonna find the price for 100 grams. So times 100, and it's 0.73 times 100. So it says 0.73 dollars per 100 grams this time, or G. All right, that's package 1. Package 2, we're gonna go $3.09 divided by 500 grams. And we're gonna, if you times one of them by 100, you have to be consistent. You wanna make all of these the same. So we're gonna times it by 100 here as well. So I'm gonna go here and grab my calculator. I can go $3.09 divided by 500. I get my answer. I times it by 100, and I say, oh, 61. I'm gonna round it up to 2 decimal places like I did before, so I'll say 62 cents. So this is 62 cents per 100 grams. And you'll notice that at the grocery stores too, they won't say price per gram, they'll say price per 100 gram, or they may say price per kilogram. Because price for one thing, it just ends up being too small. And finally, the third one, all right, we got $4.83 divided by 700 grams, all right? Oh, and we need our times 100 in here. Times 100, so $4.83 divided by 700 times 100, and it's 69 cents per 100 grams.
500 is the best.
So 500 gram in this one is the best deal. This one is the smallest number, all right? 500 gram package is the best deal. All right, we'll stop right there. Got